What's up? What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mayon buntag, maga nanu maga, mayon aga. Crap, how do you say it in Wadai? Yeah, I can't remember at all. It's too much to remember. Too much to remember all these different freaking dialects that are all everywhere. Just getting my maps up in preparation for those types of discussions. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Man, what a journey here it's been. I have been in Butuan City now, I don't even know, probably a couple weeks apartment hunting. And yeah, it's been, lots to talk about regarding finding a place. Just so much. But yeah, hold on. I'll just take that down. I'm just getting ready for future conversations. As when we talk about locations, I like to bring up the map. But man, so here in Butuan, finding a new place to live, it's going well. Actually have a place lined up. So really nice, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I can't remember the square meters on it. I want to say it's close around 60 square meters. So not super big, not super small, whatever. But yeah, 1,200 pesos a month. So what's 1,200 pesos? Just kind of give you some deals or some ideas on pricing of that. 1,200 pesos is, yeah, 210 bucks, right? So 1,200 pesos a month, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, good size place. But as our buddy David knows, right? Butuan City is known for water issues, water supply issues. They just, and I knew that before I even came here. And it's obvious too, as you're kind of traveling around and seeing stuff, as you can see like water tanks, right? Let me see if I can find this in here too. Every place, this place that I have here now, all these places that I've been staying in, all the Airbnbs that I've been staying in, they all have their own water supply. So they have these big freaking monsters tanks. I think like 1,000 liters, big old 1,000-liter tanks, and then pumps and all that stuff, because the water supply issue, there's a water supply issue here, and it's just very little demand. So the place I'm moving to has like water, whatever, not even half the day. So what you have to do is build up these big reservoirs, so that way when there is water, it fills up, and then you've got whatever a couple days worth of water supply, and then you're fine. All these regions have these different nuances of what it takes to live there. I'm discovering, but so that's the nuances of Butuan City, is the water. And so yeah, working through that, but great little place, super affordable, probably why, right? Because you have to adjust to live there. But yeah, excited. Got the internet turned up the other day, getting the air conditioning. It's completely unfurnished. That's the other factor. When you get out of some of these bigger cities like Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Davao, some of these places are completely unfurnished. When we got our place in Leyte, there wasn't a stitch of furniture in there, empty. So when you move out of some of these more touristy or whatever bigger areas, that's the kind of stuff you're also going to encounter, are unfurnished places. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Now, there are some furnished places, but for me, what I've discovered is the quality of furnishings that are in there is just kind of whatever, and then, obviously you're going to want to get your own bed. You really want to get a bed that someone else has been sleeping on for, however long. So I'd kind of like to get my own kind of furnishings. Now, if they have obviously fridge and stove and air cons and stuff like that, the big stuff, that's a bonus. But even then, as I discovered in my last place, you get these small window type units and they freaking skyrocket your electric bill, So yeah, I mean, my electric bill in my small, you could even say studio apartment in Leyte, was the same as my electric bill is my 90 square meter condo in Rockwell and Cebu, simply because of the air conditioners that were there, right? So really interesting kind of stuff to look at as you're bouncing around, looking at places, things like that, things that I'm learning as I go for sure, the nuances of certain areas. The other kind of nuance here of this particular region that I'm noticing is the weather. The weather here in Butuan City is a lot different than Cebu or Leyte. Um, you know, there's a lot of talk about the rain in Leyte, right, where you get a lot of low pressure systems and stuff like that. Living there for a year, it really wasn't a deal. It's not like I, had low pressure systems ripped through there. I don't even think there was one at all. I mean, there was one that went through there a week ago when I was down here. But the weather in Leyte definitely rained a lot more, right? But it wasn't like an issue or a factor. Like it didn't. I'd never had the experience like it took me out from what I wanted to do. Sometimes you just waited a half hour or so, and then you just kind of did what you wanted to do, right? Here, I don't think it's rained but once, and in Butuan, so there's definitely a lot less moisture. So yeah, no, it's been an experience getting to know the weather a little bit. The last time I was through here, it did rain, but it was during, I guess, the wet season. The wet season here in Butuan is what's that? Would they say December, January, February? So there's a couple of months where it's like every day rain kind of deal, but not all day. Similar, I think, similar to what I was experiencing in Leyte, but we'll find out. Yeah, excuse me. So, anyways, guys, just a little bit of talk about what we're kind of seeing here in Butuan. I thought I'd do a live stream from Butuan City here, and talk about what we got. And yeah, so no, not a lot of people on quite yet. Just kind of getting it rolling, but we'll see how it goes. I don't really have a schedule. We can talk about whatever. We can talk about Butuan or Philippines or whatever, man. Whatever you guys want to chat about. But that's kind of the stuff that's been going on here, getting set up. Like I said, we get the AC. The ACs got delivered yesterday, so I had to buy air conditioning units. They got delivered. Really nice Carrier air conditioners, a couple of them to kind of go through. That's another one of the big differences here from houses in the West is the housing. Places I don't think I've ever been in a house or a condo that has centralized AC or heat. They all have, like these room air conditioners. So that is one of the big differences here too, is that kind of stuff. There's no ductwork. There's none of that. There's no central heat or AC. Of course, you wouldn't need or want heat here, but air conditioning, right? There's, back in the States or whatever in the West, you got the big air cons with a central system. They don't have any of that here. It's all room, stuff like that. So that's kind of what we got set up, and that just got delivered yesterday. So yes. What up, man? What up, John? How's it going? How's everything there? Yeah. How old are you, man? How old am I now? Crap. 54. I will be 55 in November, man. 55 in November. I know, it's crazy. I still feel like I'm 16 though. I probably still act like I'm 16. Yeah. 55. Wow. Yep. 55. Lots of years, lots of aches and pains. I was outside raking the front yard, right? Because it's basically all dirt, and there's a lot of it's brand new construction. So, matter of fact, some of the houses are still being kind of wrapped up. So I was outside raking the front yard and kind of pulling up big rocks and stuff like that. And man, I'm sore from just raking, whatever, half a day or actually I was pretty much raking on and off all day. But yeah, I'm a little bit sore today from that. My right shoulder's sore, my hips are sore. I'm feeling my age, that's for sure. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Jeff, what's up, man? Dude, speaking of water supply, make sure the new apartment has one of those Japanese bidets. Yes, I've even used that one that dried my drop box. Yeah, I did get a bidet because I'm a big fan of the bidet myself. Also, I mean, gosh, Americans just have no clue, right? I don't think I bought toilet paper in probably 2-3 years now, which, I mean, you go back to the toilet paper crisis that we had there in the West, the problem solved. But no, I'm with you, man. I'm a huge fan of the bidet and absolutely dig that. And I did buy a couple of them. I don't have them installed yet, but I do have Western toilets there already installed. So that's really cool. Psyched about that. And all that stuff will work. But yes, I'm a fan. I got those installed, or I got those purchased, and we'll get those installed here soon. I'm with you though. I got odds that in another 3 weeks, here's somebody starts calling butane. Yeah, I'm liking it out here. I'm liking it. It's, you know, yeah, you know what? Let's pull up a map. Let's pull up a map. And then I can show you a little bit kind of the town and the area and that kind of deal. Yeah, so let's talk about it. So, yeah, I always like to turn that off, don't I? Travel plans, hide on your map. Okay, good. It's just because then it blocks everything out. So, Butuan. Yeah, it's actually my Airbnb is out in this area. And I've been out on a little bit of a beach right here. There was a low pressure system to the north that actually Leyte got hit with a little bit, not bad, just kind of windy and whatever, nothing too serious. But I did go out to a little bit of a birthday party out here, and this was pretty cool out here. A little beach area out here. Well, maybe let's turn on. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Yeah, little beach area out here was nice. There was really big surf. Yeah, and that's kind of a traditional Philippines beach. But yeah, I've been out to the beach, and this isn't far. This is 10 minutes away. And there are some other beach places here. I was told really nice kind of place up through here. I don't think that's it, but yeah, some beaches up here that I want to still check out. Let's see how far that is away. Yeah, like directions, 45 minutes or so. Yeah, so there are some, yeah, right? Yeah, it looks pretty nice, right? So some beach areas around, stuff like that there are pretty close, but Butuan City, really good town, whatever. I think close to 500,000 people, maybe whatever, maybe upper three, close to 400,000. But good sized little town, man. Like it a lot. A city divided by a river, and so early on in my apartment hunting, I was told to look in this area quite a bit, and I did look in this area, and they're really kind of nice, some really nice subdivisions out here. I looked in a couple of these, but the problem is, like a lot of cities, Davao included, when it's a city, probably even CDO, right? When you got a city divided by a river, these become congestion points and they become traffic pain points. So the last thing I wanted to be doing was crossing this bridge, whatever, multiple times a day. So I chose to stay on this side of the bridge so I could avoid a lot of that. But, I like it out here. Really big SM mall. There's also a Robinson's Mall. And, when I was living in small town Leyte, I'll pull that up now too. Living out in small town Leyte, I mean, I didn't have any of that stuff, man. It was, there is nothing here, man. It's just, here's a town. This is where I was living for the past year, a town of whatever, 60, 70,000 people. So super small. I mean, I did start to like it, actually. I did, and I miss it, we started to get to know some locals. We found a really good meat shop and stuff like that. But, the nearest big town to really get anything was at Ormoc. And you're talking that, that's an hour and a half away. So, definitely not right across the street, right? So what's nice here about Butuan is that, you've got a good sized town, you've got a big SM, you've got a Robinson, you've got some big grocery stores, but it's still not nothing the size of like CDO or Cebu or any of the other big stuff. And you've got some really good access. I mean, look at the terrain in this area. This mountain region here, everyone talks about. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, Clairvera. Yeah, this mountain region through here, and I've been through there. I rode my bike through that region, just gorgeous, down to Hinog. I rode, CDO to Hinog there and spent the night in Hinog. But yeah, really cool region here. And then of course you got Malaybalay and Bukatan, and really excited about that. Getting back down to the beach in Mate, so that'll be cool to get down there. So yeah, I'm really excited about exploring this particular region. And then get over to Camiguin. I've not been to Camiguin yet. That's only a couple hours away. There's Camiguin there. And then, of course, Siargao, get over to Siargao Islands out here. That's not very far. I can get up to Surigao City and then get over to Siargao. And then, of course, I can explore this region here, Dignet Island, super remote. Not a lot of people going out there. Looks super epic. I mean, look at that road there, guys. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to get out there, honestly. So, you know, I feel like I'm jam packed in this region here. I'm right in a great spot. I can hit a lot of, there's some really cool islands out here that you guys are telling me about on the last live stream. Vanishing Island, Turtle Island. So there's just really a lot right here that I'm going to be exploring and checking out. And, you know, I plan on making this a long-term base. I really do. I plan on, you know, the amount of money that I'm sticking in this apartment to get it working or to get it where it's livable is, you know, quite a bit, right? A couple of 100,000 pesos, which, you know, what is that? Let's see here. Pull up my calculator. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to spend, well, the aircon, the three of them, that was 110,000, right? Yeah. So that's just for the air conditioners. You know, and the water system is probably going to be, that's another 30,000. Yeah, that's another 500. So, you know, spending a couple thousand just to kind of get this place where it's, you know, foreigner livable, right? So I plan on staying here a couple years. I know the owner, really great kid. He's a seaman, so he goes out and he's at port, whatever, half the year, and then comes back. So, and he wants a long-term rental. This is investment property for him, and he's looking for a long-term rental guy. So really excited about the place. But yeah, I plan on being here a couple years, exploring that whole region. You know, this will be my base for a while. So really excited about that. Yeah, but it's going well, Jeff. I'm excited to be out here. Hey, how's it going? Charlotte, North Carolina. Actually, I think I have some family out there now. Who's out there? I'm trying to remember. I might have some cousins out there in Charlotte. Yeah, I've been through your neck of the woods. I think once. I can't remember how long ago. Quite a while ago. I think I spent a couple nights. I can't remember what the hell I was doing out there. But yeah, man. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You're 54 in Florida? Yeah, 54 also. And John, I lived in Florida for a long time. I lived in the Tampa area. I moved to Anna Maria Island. When was that? Late 80s. I was out in Anna Maria, moved out there, and then lived in Anna Maria for a while, lived in Bradenton for a while, lived in Tampa for a while. My son's actually out there in Florida still. So yeah. I'm familiar with Florida, familiar with your region, and the Philippines it reminds me a lot of Florida in some ways. It's like Florida weather-wise, right? But I think it's almost hotter there than here. It's hotter in Florida. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick too with Butuan. It doesn't feel as hot here as it did compared to Leyte and Cebu. So really interesting there. I don't know if it's cloud cover or what. And granted, I've only been here, whatever, 2 weeks, but these are things that I'm noticing. But anyways, John, yeah, I'm familiar with Florida. Yeah, I lived there for a while. Chris, you know, Butuan gets hit with bad storms regularly. Yeah, we'll have to check it out, Alan. So far, so good, right? But not as much as Leyte. and like I was saying there too, the weather in Leyte, you know, I've been living in Leyte for the past year. And of course, you know, I was on let's pull up that map again. You know, I was on the, what do you call it, western side, right? So if you look at the big low pressure systems, they typically come in and ride up through here, right? Usually come in and ride up. So, you know, I was being on the west coast of Leyte, you're not necessarily on the leading edge. So when the storms come in, you know, you're still going to have whatever days of rain, but not bad. Not nearly as much, I feel, as like Luzon gets hit. But yeah, I think this region down here, especially the further you go south in general, the less likely that you're going to hit typhoons. Now, it doesn't mean they're never going to hit there, of course. No one can guarantee that. But I can't remember the weather phenomenon, but the storms move away from the equator. So typically what they'll do, if you look at storm paths, they'll run in through the east and then they'll run north up through here. So Butuan is a pretty good spot historically, but we'll see, right? We'll see. You know, we'll see. You know, south and west is ideal, right? So as far as the storms can go, but yeah, we'll see how it rolls. But so far, actually, the weather has been some of the best weather that I've had in all of the Philippines. It doesn't feel as hot, and it's a lot drier. But we'll see. We'll see. But like it's all in all too, Alan. The the almost 3 years that I've been here now, the weather's never been like a factor for me. Like I ride in the rain. I don't really care. I don't really let that stop me. You know, I've got good rain gear now, so even if it's raining out, I don't mind. And it's not like, it's not like Colorado rain where you're talking 50 degrees Fahrenheit then rainy, right? Where you got to worry about hypothermia. You're talking 80 degrees up mid to upper 80s in rain. So in some ways it feels good. And I also have like really good gear, right? So all my clothing and stuff, pretty much 10 minutes of no rain on the bike, I'm dry, So one area I got to get worked on is my shoes a little bit. But anyways, the weather here has kind of been a non-factor, and I'm excited to see more about Butuan. But so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing with the weather. Hey, Richard. Yes. Yeah. Good morning from Drench, Luzon. Yeah. I've been hearing a little bit about that. I had a buddy of mine. He's actually going to be over, I think, today. He was stuck in Leyte. So he was going to work his way down from, I'll pull up the map. He was going to work his way down from Cebu. He was in Cebu. He's did the route that I did many times where you ride up to Danao, up at the dry dock, not the Danao port, but the dry dock port, which is a little bit further north. Anyways, wherever that is on the map. So he rode up to Danao, and then he took a boat over to Isabel, wherever the hell Isabel is. Yeah, right here. There we go. Isabel. And then he rode all the way down through Leyte. But when he got all the way down to San Ricardo port down here, right? So he hopped over and then rode this whole route down, which is about 5 hours. Ormoc down, or yeah, maybe close to 5. When he got all the way down to San Ricardo, which is down here, they shut down the ports because of the low pressure system that Richard's got right up there now. He's up in the Manila area. So, but yeah, and then, but he backtracked and now he's kind of heading back this way. But yeah, it was a little bit windy when I went out to that birthday party a couple days ago, and we're out in that beach area. It was a little bit windy, but it hasn't been really raining here much at all over the past 2 weeks. I was actually commenting on that. I was like, man, I've been here 2 weeks or whatever and hadn't noticed any rain. So yeah, really, really, really different weather. Hope it dries out for you soon up there. I've been seeing some weather reports. John, enjoy what you got. I just found out I have to have open heart surgery next month to replace my aortic valve. Wow, brother. And I know I'm a healthy dude. Wow. Just born with a bad valve. Wow, man. Well, I hope that goes well. Good thing you caught it, right? But yeah, good for you, brother. I hope that turns out. Probably best that you're in the shape that you're in, to help you recover, I would suspect. But yeah, Bam, hope you bounce on your feet and get healthy and get out in the Philippines, right? Yeah, good luck with that, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks, Richard. Still going to try to retire in Thailand or the Philippines if I live long enough. Wow, man. Well, yeah, I haven't been to Thailand yet. It's on my list to check out. I do want to check it out. I have not been yet. Originally when I was looking at Southeast Asia, Bangkok was top of my list, and maybe it could be yours as well because of the the healthcare systems that are out there. But yeah, when I started researching and looking, Chiang Mai was up there, but the burn season's a little bit kind of is a factor. Of course, the visas maybe they've changed a little bit, but there seems to be a lot of talk about the visas in Thailand. Now that might gotten easier. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at it recently. But yeah, I think Thailand's a great option still for a lot of people. I know guys who maybe go over there, and I've met several guys who prefer Thailand over the Philippines for many reasons. But everyone says just the people here are the big factor, right? Versus the Philippines, but you don't necessarily have the infrastructure that you would over there. But there is healthcare here. You can find it. You'd want to plant yourself in some of these bigger cities, though. But I mean, there's 3 hospitals here in Butuan. There's 2 private ones and 1 public one. I think for anything serious, I think St. Luke's is the hospital up there in Manila that's world-class hospital. I think Davao probably has some really good hospitals down there, just simply because they have got a bunch of medical training facilities. People come from all over the world to go to the medical schools there in Davao. So I think Cebu also has some of that stuff going on. So there is that here, but not like the thing about Thailand and some other regions is they've set it up with it's a tourist stuff, right? So people are involved with medical tourism. People are involved with medical tourism, right? So they've got that whole dynamic there set up where they've got these flashy offices and things like that. But yeah, brother, yeah, I hope that works out and I hope you get out here and enjoy your life. I'm sure you sound like a healthy dude, man, and get in and out, a little bit of recovery. And, just as a guy who kind of went through recovery a couple years back at over 50, just give yourself some patience and time in that recovery. It's not like we're 20, and just can take a little bit. So, but if fitness has been a lifelong conversation for you, you'll just be fine. But just remember, just practice a little patience with yourself. That's what I had to do, was just be a little bit patient with my recovery. And, gosh, I remember when I got out, so I was in a bad accident, right? And was in a wheelchair for 3 months. And while I had broke both my hips, so I was non-weight bearing on both my legs for 90 days. And so I was in a wheelchair, right? And as a over 50-year-old guy, my legs, after sitting for 3 months, I mean, totally shot, right? Totally shot. And it took probably a year of kind of getting back. And I remember when I got out of my wheelchair, I did not want to walk her. I was just like, oh, I'm going to walk. And, I mean, it was hard, man. It was hard. It took me a good, probably, I don't even know, maybe 6 months to where I was walking normally. And yeah, so it was really well. Just so be patient with yourself, brother. Hope it goes well. I'm sure you'll be fine. You're taking care of yourself. So Ozzy has passed. I've seen him. Oh, did he really? Oh, I'll be damned. I did not know that. I'm soon. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, wow. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I'm pretty disconnected out here in the sticks. And that's part of the design too, right? I don't really keep up with a lot of it. I had to get away from it first. Well, I didn't have to, but I found mainstream media. I found that whole deal just so, man, I just couldn't deal anymore, right? I just want to be on an island somewhere and sipping out of my coconut. Me and my girl, Yeah. But oh, that's too bad, man. Well, part of it, right? Part of living. So if you were single after what, dang near 2 years, do you think you'd still be in the Philippines? So if I was single, would I still be in the Philippines, or would I be off exploring other areas? Yeah, that's a great question, Jeff. I think I would still be here. I mean, I didn't, as I've said it before, I didn't really move here for the girls, but I mean, that's, it's kind of a bonus, right? It's like moving to Florida and not eating the oranges. The oranges are whatever, world class. But yeah, so that's a great question. I think I would still be here. And the reason why is because I wanted to get a motorcycle and tour around. I wanted to get a bike and travel. And it took me a long time to get that. And even now, I feel like I haven't really seen everything that there is to see, or I just have the experience of I'm just getting started in that journey. So yeah, I would still think I would be here. Now, admittedly, my thinking has changed a little bit because of Mary Rose. It has. And, getting a house and stuff like that, where I'm kind of planning it out here. Picking a town that she can potentially find work in is another one of those factors, right? But yeah, so there is some stuff that's there for sure, being I have a girl. Yes, the little froggy again today still. Man, that bug I caught, I don't even know, beginning of my Samar trip, that was rough. Yeah, yeah, John. Hope you do well. Yep. knock on wood. That's one of the things I do plan to investigate a little bit of this medical tourism. One of my strategies is to go to either Kuala Lumpur or to Thailand, probably once or twice a year, and just go through and start using, just go through and get a full workup twice, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, and just start to get myself in that routine of being over there. I have done full blood work. It's been over a year now, but I did some stuff in Cebu, check whatever PSA and all that stuff, right? And everything came out fine. But we're at an age where, things start to kind of go, and it's good to catch it before there's a problem. So yeah, it's on my radar too. Nice, John. Yeah. Cambodia has been a welcome surprise. Greetings from Siem Reap. Dude, so when I'm trying to remember when it was. Oh yeah, when they were starting this thing about doing interviews for people who'd been here for a while, I got a little bit of spooked, right? And I was looking at Siem Reap as a possible plan B, and it still could be for me. But yeah, man, Cambodia, nice. Yeah, hope all's good out there. Yeah, that was one of the places I would love to go out there. For me, Thailand, it's okay. But this area, Cambodia, really speaks to me honestly too. Cambodia and Vietnam, both of those I prefer a little bit over Thailand. Having not seen any of them, but just kind of what I hear and know about being in this region and things I've heard from other people and videos that I've seen, I'm really interested in Cambodia especially Cambodia as a place I would potentially live in over Thailand and over Vietnam, just because of cost of living and visas and stuff like that. So yeah, really interesting, John. Yeah, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about what you think so far, how long you've been out there, your overall thoughts of the town and city. Have always been very interested in Cambodia, and well, not always. Over the past couple of years, my interest of Cambodia have grown significantly. So yeah, I'd love to hear how things are going for you there. Chris, I saw your video a couple months ago, and it did not sit well with me about your positive opinion about the ex-president. He's the worst president, and he deserves where he is. Dude, I don't know anything about that. I really don't. And honestly, political stuff in general, I just really avoid, whether that be Trump or the United States political environment or the Philippines environment. So if you heard me comment on a politician here in the Philippines, I just really don't have an opinion. I really don't. I don't have an opinion of any of them are good or bad or any of that. I don't. I could tell you that the former president, from the people I've met, they respect and admire who he was, but me personally, I don't have any opinion whatsoever on any of that stuff. I really don't. It's not wise for me to have one. It gets me in trouble. So you misunderstood. I don't have an opinion at all on any of the politicians that have either are in office currently or have been. I really don't. And like I said, I just really I stay away from that kind of stuff. So you misunderstood. Right? Alan in the Philippines. What are we talking about, Alan? Yeah, I don't know. The weather? Butuan? I think that's what you were last talking about. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Richard. Coriolis effect, right? Where these storms go away from the equator and not towards most of the time. So yeah. I'm hoping that Mindanao in general, from what I understand, gets a lot less of the typhoons. However, what you do have in Mindanao is you do have a lot more earthquakes. Now, yeah, there is a fault line that runs right through here. Now, I know Davao gets a lot more. And what we could do, actually, guys, let's take a look here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this site, but there's a site called PhilVolks. I think it's a really cool tool, especially if you're looking to live here. Really important. Talks about natural disasters and stuff like that. But one of the things that I found interesting, I am sharing this, right? Yeah, okay, cool. One of the things that I found interesting, oh, it's not showing that other screen though. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me bring that up. Remove. And then 1 second. Share screen. Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, good. There we go. Sorry about that. It popped up in another window and I had to share that other window. But check this out, guys. This blew me away. This is all the earthquakes that have happened. Well, you can look, it sorts it, right? But check this, look how many there are. 23rd, so that's today as of 6:49 a.m. And right now it's 7:17. So as of a half hour ago. But look at all these earthquakes. I mean, granted, they're small. Where's the magnitude? Yeah, 4.4, 3.3, 4.6, right? But look at all of them. Look at all of them. So today, and it's 7:20 in the morning, there have been whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 earthquakes in the first 7 hours of this day. I mean, that's just freaking epic. And a lot of them are here in Davao. Now, not all of them, right? But there's quite a few over here along this fault line. So as I was kind of getting back to my point that while you avoid a lot more of the typhoons and stuff like that, you trade it off for more earthquakes. So yeah. You're stacking your pennies now. Yeah. 33 now, almost 1 million network, America over. Yeah, good for you, dude. Get out. I think what was my number I was trying to get? 1.2 million, because 3% of 1.2 is 36,000, and that's plenty of money to be here. Yeah, good for you, brother. Hope you get over here soon. Working 84 hours a week past 14 years. I get it, man. Overslept today through 26 alarms. Get over here, Grant. I relate, man. I relate. Yeah. Oh, so hard, isn't it? And it is. It's what life is like over there. Just really, really, really tough. I remember, brother, the first thing, like I was sharing before, the first thing I did when I got up in the morning, I start freaking going through my email and replying to people and solving problems and stuff like that. It was just, we don't realize how our life is not ours. It's just not. Our life is for the corporation that we work for. It's about making it. It's about survival in the West, and now versus my dad's generation, it's a 2 income, right? So, you need 2 incomes to make it there. So now you got a husband and wife who are, trying to survive and trying to raise a family, and, you don't spend any time with your kids. So yeah, it's broken, right? It's broken. And then here it's really different. Here, of course, it's incredibly poor, but they have such these strong family values and connections. So it's not all about work here. It's not. It's really interesting, different dynamics. But I get it, man. And it living here for the past couple of years, and then looking at my life in the West and how it was, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. No amount of money. I remember Britt was actually asking me about, dude, if you had a couple $1 million, would you go back? I was like, first of all, I pretty much do. And it's not about money. It never has been. It's about the quality of life. It is. It's just so different over here. I related to this. Would you rather live? Because people talk about maybe the healthcare isn't as good and stuff like that, and you subject yourself to, a heart attack or whatever, where you could have lived in the United States. And I was like, look, would you rather live 20 years in prison or 10 years on the beach? I don't, because that's kind of how it is for me. Yeah, I can live 20 years in prison, or I can live 10 years on the beach, 15 years on the beach, and have a great, right? So I don't know. It's kind of wild for me, and really eye-opening. I related to like alcohol, right? I quit drinking. There's these perspectives once you step away from things. When I stepped away from the United States and life in the West, I had a completely different perspective on life and how my life was living in the West. Very similar to alcohol, right? Once I got away from that alcohol, I'm like, oh man, you want to talk about a global problem that, well, a lot of Americans have, a lot of Westerners have. It's just like, anyways, yeah, yeah. What's up, Nevada? How's it going? Good evening. Good afternoon. What's up, Richard? Yeah. You got in late? Yeah. You got in late? Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's 7:30 in the morning on Wednesday. I thought I'd do a live, kind of getting things going in the new place. Busy day. I've got contractors coming over right at 9. I've got to pour out a concrete slab for my water tank, and then getting a 1,000-liter water tank installed. Once that cures, and then the apartment should be good. Got AC guys coming over today to do a site inspection for the 3 air conditioners I got installed. So Mary Rose is still up in Lete. She's coordinating with the movers. The movers should be up there. I think they'll be there either tomorrow or Friday. And then she'll be coming down here. So yeah, man, lots going on here. Been busy, still in an Airbnb in Butuan, but getting it going, man. Hope all's good there. Yeah. Philippines president is with Trump this morning. I'll be damned. There will be no terrorism between the two countries. Went well. Man, Kona, so good to hear, brother, right? I mean, the last thing I want, or probably anyone who's watching this or here now want, is any type of tension between the Philippines and the United States. I know for me, that's been a big deal, right? I've been a little bit worried about that, watching our relationships with, my brother Jeff there, who I know is up in Canada. I mean, those relationships are just getting so divided, and anyone political, I can tell, there's animosity towards Americans now. There really is globally. And just so excited to hear what you're saying here. That's really good news. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Kona. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess the chicken ranch is more of a longer term goal. It is, but Jeff, it's in the works, man. It's in the works, right? So, as I'm talking to Mary Rose about this, she's like, Chris, that's a lot of money we're dumping in this place, right? Shouldn't we just get our own? And so my thought around that is so I built this in the lease. Everything that I'm putting into this place, I can take out. So all the ACs, all this water stuff and stuff like that, I can pull out from the lease if and when I move. So, but I am really looking to keep this place for long term, at least till I get to 60. So the next 5 years, because I do have to be financially a little bit careful over the next 5 years until I can hit my 401k. So that's the goal. Set myself up in a cheap place that I can live inexpensively for the next several years, ride my time out there, and then maybe buy and build some land. So, buy some land and build a house. So that's kind of the plan. But so the Carefree Chicken Ranch is coming, but might be a little bit later or delayed. Chris, always great to catch your live show. I'm planning a Philippines-Thailand trip soon, but I rethink the idea of just moving there all the time. Yeah, Chris, no worries, brother. Come check it out. Come stay. Come do an extended trip. It's not for everybody. It's not, man. It really isn't. And I tell you, the thing that I see, the guys who struggle here the most are the guys that come over here exclusively for the dating. I mean, think about that, right? I mean, I guess this can go with any reason you come over here, but you want to have reasons good enough to keep you here. And if it's just dating, I mean, that's going to wear out fast. For anyone over the age of probably 20, that's going to wear out fast, right? It just will, and so I just come check it out, come stay for a while. You got to be flexible. You got to be fluid. I mean, for example, I had to practice this myself just this week, moving into this place. I thought water wasn't going to be a situation. It turns out, what it is. And not only is it a situation, it's bad. I've got running water maybe 3 hours of the day. I mean, think about that for a minute, right? You move into a place and you got no running water for only but a couple of hours. And then you got to develop a strategy around, all right, now what? you know, and it's okay. All right, I got to get a water system. I got to get a water pump. Okay, great. Go check that out. And all right, you need a concrete slab. So, you know, some one step forward, two steps back a lot of the times, but you know, being able to laugh with it, being able to have fun with it, you know, that is really key. And then also too, knowing that it's not the most honest culture, right? So they'll tell you something just to tell you something. And an example of that is like Filipino directions, right? You'll go when I was in Davao, I was walking through the mall. I was like, where's the Starbucks at? Right? And the guy's like, yeah, it's just right over here. Well, you know, I'm in the mall. I walked whatever 100 yards or so. I'm like, where the heck's the Starbucks? That's the others. Hey, you know what? Where's the Starbucks at? I thought it was over. Yeah, no, it's over here. So that kind of stuff you get, and you just you gotta laugh with it, right? I mean, come on, here we are. We're in this great country, beautiful country. A lot of us are, you know, in some of these great relationships with, you know, beautiful ladies, right? So we just have to remind ourselves of where we're at, how we're doing, and what we're up to. I do a lot still. And but yeah, dude, come check it out. It's definitely the Philippines, I would say, is for the adventurous at heart. You know, if you're okay with a little bit of like camping and rustic kind of life, you know, living in Colorado and things like that. I mean, granted, I've been a city guy a lot of my life, but I also lived on a farm as a young kid. So and Thailand's a little more developed where you could be there, you know, in a more Western environment. But the Philippines can be pretty wild west in a lot of ways. And so I just as you're coming out here, keep those things on. Stay a while. Don't come out for I mean, whatever. Come out for dating and date. But if that's your motive, that's the guys that I see have a quick exit. It's like, all right, yeah, I've dated a couple dozen girls, and now what? You know. So yeah. Richard, here's about family, friends, biking, and cheap massages. That's right, brother. Dude, that massage was freaking epic that we had. That was epic. So Richard and I hung out a little bit. He came down to Cebu. We hung out. We went to a really good Mexican restaurant and then got some massages and stuff. Yeah, that was a really good massage, brother. I have not gone back there yet. I've not tried those body scrubs before. That was wild, man. It was a little bit on the PG-13 side, I have to admit. You know, because with the body scrub, I mean, I was in nothing but a freaking washcloth. And that girl, man. Oh, anyways, I can't say too much without getting myself in trouble. Mary Rose, if you're watching or get this head, this was way before you and I were dating. I hope so, anyways. Nothing happened. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, that's what this channel is about, man. It's about good times. I do steer away from a lot of the drama stuff, but yeah, too funny, brother. Too funny. Rich, 50 years working, retired December 31st. Congratulations, man. Good for you, brother. Heading to the Philippines in May. Yeah, Rich, good for you, man. You're really excited. I get lit up. There's a couple of things that light me up when I see guys here. It's just one that they're just in this kind of story, right? Because you know I see it a lot. But then the guys that are here, they start all these families all over again too. You know, I saw this guy. We're over in Samar. You know, he was a vet. He was one leg guy and he's got a beautiful wife and he's got a family. He's got 2 kids. You know, and that kind of just stuff is really cool. Here's a guy just thriving. You know, he's over in a foreign country. He's got this groove fan. He's a younger guy. Well, whatever, maybe in his 40s or so, but just this big smile on his face, right? Just loving life. And because he can out here, he's not judged by any of that. He's, you know, probably doing well. I mean, all these things you don't know, but that kind of stuff lights me up, as well as the stories about guys coming over and retiring, and you know, just for anybody, Rich and everybody, we talked about that before. Just, you know what you're getting into and have fun out here and enjoy it. You know, the guys that are very particular, and I am in some ways too, right? Mildly OCD, but those are the guys that kind of struggle a little bit. You just got to be able to adapt. You have to be able to adapt here. Is really key, like anywhere in life, but more so here. Yeah. Are there any white sandy beaches or blue water near Butuan besides Panglao? It's hard to find It's hard to find videos that are near and decent to cities like Tagbilaran. I guess what I'll find, I will, but hard to find out. So yeah, let's pull up the map. There are some stuff. We'll go back to Phil Volks and we'll change that. But yes, so to answer your question on Bohol, yeah, there's a lot on Bohol. I really enjoy Bohol, man. Where was that Napaline Reef? Yeah, dude, guys, if you guys are ever out on Panglao, you got to check out this Napaline Reef. I shot a video over there, freaking epic, just amazing. Better than Mobile because the sardines and stuff are right there. I mean, you just walk off and it's there. But yeah, there's beaches here in Panglao. You got White Beach or whatever I think it's called, Alona Beach. Yeah, I mean, there's some beaches there in Panglao, and it's not as bad as Boracay, where it's touristy but not the same level. I think you also have Ando up here. Anda, there's some beaches up there. What's his name? Jonathan was up there. So yeah, there's some places in Bohol you can go to. Now here in Butuan, I haven't seen yet. I mean, this was right here. So this is whatever, this is minutes away from my house, a little bit of a beach here. And, you know, whatever, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, that's the kind of beach you have here. Whatever. It's not, yeah. So a little bit, yeah, it's not bad. It's okay, it's brown. It's very similar to Palampan. But there are some places, I knew the guy recently, he went over to this place nearby here. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, on the East Coast, yeah, I mean, check that out, right? You've got some stuff not far. That's a really beautiful beach and stuff. Yeah, this looks great. Yeah, so you got stuff, yeah, that's not, yeah, it looks freaking awesome. Let's go, right? Let's do it. How far is that away? A couple hours, I think. Yeah, 2 hours and 13 minutes. So, and then, of course, you got Kamigan. I'm sharing this, right? Yeah, okay, good. You got Kamigan, which is not very far. I think the port is right up here. Yeah, I'm just going to say here. That's not where it is, but it's close. Yeah, so that's 2 hours, 2 hour ride for me up the coast. And then Kamigan is right here. And Kamigan is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to check out Kamigan. I mean, it just looks, it's going to be great, man. Really cool, like a Gilligan's Island type of vibe. So yeah, there's some stuff here. And that's just that. I was down in Mati. Mati's really cool in southern Davao here. That was pretty awesome down through here. Good sized town. This is a town that I would consider living in also. Really cool town. Hardly any foreigners out there. The locals were super friendly. Really actually enjoyed Mate a lot. And gorgeous. I mean, super gorgeous. Really beautiful down through there. Yeah. But yeah, there's some options, Kev. Yeah, there's some water, like I said, Kamigan's nearby. Those beaches to the east are nearby. Of course, you got Siargao to the north, right? To hop up to Surigao City, and then you can catch boats over. So yeah, I mean, there is a lot right where I'm at, and that's really what I'm excited about in Butuan, because I feel like I'm in a spot right in the middle where I can go a couple hours in either direction and hit some really unique landscapes. Malaybalay and Bukatan, some gorgeous mountain stuff. I mean, even just this from CDO over by Hanog, beautiful out there too. Beautiful out there. A couple hours away. So yeah, man, I'm excited about where I'm at. Really excited about where I'm at. Yeah, 20 years in prison or 10 years on the beach. Yeah, Grant. Well, I mean, seriously, right? Where would you rather be? Sorry, I'm behind the comments here, but I mean, you know, and that was one of the factors too when I was looking to move out here, right? I really was. I was like, you know, and the conversations with family and stuff like that with medical care and things like that, it's like, guys, I absolutely despise my life where I'm at right now. I want to go explore and be somewhere happy. I want to be around a friendly culture and a beautiful scene. You know, may I die a little bit earlier if I lived life in the West? Maybe, because I don't have access to top-notch health care. Maybe, I don't know, right? But 10 years on the beach, 20 years in prison. Yeah, Grant. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Because that was a factor for me when I was looking at being here. Rome, what's up, brother? How's it going? Yeah, no worries, man. It's always going to be up there. You can check it out. Yeah, late to the party again. Where's my friend? Hope you're doing well. Well, if you're talking about Mary Rose, she's still up in Leyte. She's getting stuff packed up there, but she should be here. We're hoping that she gets here on by Sunday or Monday. She's also got some stuff to figure out with her graduation still. She's working through some things there. She's got to get a little bit of paperwork done on that. But yeah, she's doing good. We're both doing really well. Yeah, digging life here in Butuan so far, enjoying it. It's been some work, admittedly, a little bit of stressful time. But then again, I have to remind myself, stress here versus stress there. So you're staying in Butuan for a while. I think so, Richard. I think this will be home base. Well, I signed a year lease, so it's definitely for a year. More than likely, several. This place that I'm setting up, I really do envision it as a cheap place for me to be until I hit 59 and a half. So really for the next several years, it might be where I could be. And also too, Richard, I like it, like I was sharing about earlier, just the location of it. I really do have access to a lot of cool areas to the Philippines, a lot of different geography, a lot of different, spaces for me to kind of explore and be. And, and really one of these goals too, guys, is we've talked about this before, is really just trying to kind of find my home in the Philippines. It's a big area. It's a big little country. It really is. And, knowing where I want to live for the rest of my years and that kind of deal, whatever, I don't know. Maybe I'll always travel around. I like the idea of a house and planting roots, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's really just kind of defining that area. I want to get over to Palawan. I want to, get over that direction too. I've got some heads up on some locations out there that are really cool. So yeah, man, I'm having a good time and planting my roots here in Butuan for a good year, probably longer. Yeah. It's Muzala, Montana here, man. Montana is beautiful, right? Muzala, Montana. Yeah, beautiful. Love your channel and can't wait to see more videos. Yeah, Salamat. Thanks, brother. Love your perspective on life and money. Yeah, you're the man. Yeah. Thanks, Buzz. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Where are you looking to come? Where are you looking to come out, man? Yeah. So Montana. Or would I, obviously the city life probably won't be for you, but you can get out in some of these other regions and really thrive. I've only been here a week or two, but Butuan to me, weather-wise, has been some of the best weather that I've had so far. I can't wait. I can't wait to have a little more experience of this culture, this region, to kind of give you guys a little more of a perspective of it. But yeah, coming from Montana, that'll, it's going to be, it's going to be warm. Come on, check it out, brother. Hey, did you prefer Butuan over CDO? Are there many foreigners in either place? Is there a big cost of living difference? I saw Butuan has a higher poverty rate. Okay, DD. So yeah, so your first question, did I prefer Butuan over CDO? I do actually, and I tell you why a little bit. The first thing I want to do is bring up a map because it's a factor in it. Where are we at here? Google Maps. So the thing I didn't like about CDO is the traffic. And again, you got a town divided by a river, which I don't necessarily know, is that a factor or not? I think it was. Yep. But you had a lot of traffic there. I just wasn't. Let's just see if we can see traffic now. Yeah, right. So yeah, so there's traffic now. So you have a lot of traffic, and that's at 7:41 on a Wednesday. So, and that was the street right here that, yeah, absolutely mobbed. So I would suspect over time, and you could get used to where to go and where to be. I think like any city, it's critical to position yourself in an area where you stay away from these traffic points, right? So I think that's the key, right? And CDO CDO Uptown is where a lot of guys like to be. Yeah, the same goes with, honestly, Cebu, right? Let's zoom out. I could show you here too. Yeah, so the traffic here, these bridges are pain points. That's a toll bridge, so that's not going anywhere. But so yeah, and then let's look at Butuan. Butuan, yeah, right? Where's the traffic point? the bridges. So, but everywhere else wide open. This bypass road's freaking phenomenal. I'm digging that. I've been on that a lot. So yeah, that was one of the things that I liked about Butuan versus CDO is the traffic is not nearly as much as that you have in CDO. The other thing about the differences is the population. So CDO is probably 2 to 3 times bigger than Butuan population wise. So it's just a much bigger city. And I wanted a smaller town. I wanted something that still had a couple of malls, still had stuff like that I can go and get restaurants and things like that, but not just this mega city, right? Yeah. Matter of fact, let's take a look really quick here. I'm going to pull up on AI. I've got a question here. I'm live streaming right now. I've got a question, and they were talking about the comparison between CDO and Butuan City, Mindanao. Can you run a quick comparison on things like population, traffic, and things like that that I can talk about quick? So that traffic was definitely one. Population was another. So you got this bigger city versus that. Sorry, here it just did the thing, but and then also too the actual region. Like, yeah, CDO you can get up to Malai. CDO you have a little bit quicker. But honestly, you know what? Let's pull this up too, because I wanted to show another thing that's there for me is really west of CDO, right? So you got Iligan City, you got Marawi, which obviously is a no-go zone. There just wasn't a lot for me west. You know, there's definitely south. You got Malai and Bukatan in that area. And east, honestly, yeah, that's a gorgeous region through there. You got Kamigan, but to me, I was just cut off from the west of CDO versus here, I've got all directions that I can go there. I've got north, south, east, and west. So there's just a lot for me geographically when I looked at the two. But let's look at what AI is talking about, right? So yeah, so CDO population, 838,000 people. Butuan, 400,000, so twice the size. Yeah, CDO is roughly double the size in population. Stands as a major hub in northern Mindanao, while Butuan ranks the top city in the Caraga region. Yeah, CDO's got rapid urban growth and increased vehicle presence has led to notable traffic headaches. Yep. Yeah, anecdotal reports for Butuan. Yeah. Major infrastructure bypass road, which I just talked about, which is increase the traffic flow here. On the ground takeaways, CDO heavier congestion in the central and main transport corridors, jeepneys, taxis, motorbikes, plus provincial buses, and big terminals like Agora and Bula, whatever. Butuan, more manageable traffic thanks to bypass infrastructure. Yeah, still local peaks at intersections. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was just saying too. AI kind of confirmed or what that just. Butuan has more of a province vibe to it. It's got more of a small city vibe to it with the big city amenities, like the malls and the restaurants and things like that. Instead of buying land there, I could find a place for sale in the Philippines and make a deal to pay the sale price, but just rent it in the 50-year lease. I don't need a girl to own it. Yeah, no, that's a possibility. A 50-year lease for sure. Yep. No, absolutely. Yep. Finch Jane, Family Channel. 7:30, 15 minutes behind. Yeah. I'm not sure. What are we talking about here, Finch? Trump put a 19% tariff on the Philippines, I think. Yeah. So the other quick thing we're talking about here is, I guess there was a recent meeting between Trump and the current Philippines president. How did that go? And are there any tariffs or anything else that would hurt the relationships between the United States and the Philippines government? Yeah, let's see what we can find on that. I was unaware of a meeting that goes on there. I really do, guys. I don't really participate a lot in a lot of big story stuff just because I'm not around it or aware of it. My world is pretty small. local stuff. I pay attention to weather and local stuff and earthquakes and things like that. Beyond that, the big political stuff, I don't really watch. Yeah, on July 22nd. Okay. Yeah, July 22nd, 2025, former U.S. President, I don't know why it says former, it's current. But yeah, Donald Trump hosted Fernando Marcos Jr. at the White House. Okay. Yeah, I described it as a beautiful visit. That sounds like Trump, right? Yeah, and President Marcos said, very good. Now, all right. They announced a new trade agreement. Okay. Let's see. They announced a new trade agreement. The Philippines will impose 0 tariffs on some U.S. goods, while the U.S. will impose 19% tariffs. All right, on Philippines exports. Okay, slightly down lower than the 20% as threatened earlier. Okay. Enhanced military cooperation was also announced, aligning the deal in the U.S. and Philippine strategies. Okay. All right. And let's see here. The deal. Okay. Yeah. Overall impact positive. Okay. Overall impact says is positive concern. Yeah. Now face higher tariffs than before. All right. But overall, it looks like the final take is that it was pretty positive meaning, but there looks like there was, I think you're right there. There might be some tariffs. Will a 400,000 investment in stock market be enough comfortable living space to last 42 to 62 to Social Security? I don't know, William. Let's take a look at that. Got another question on this live stream here. We're talking about 400,000, and will 400,000 be enough? Let's just say maybe 24 to 36,000 a year from ages 42 to 62. So what I like to do on that is like use kind of like the 3% rule or 4% rule, and then kind of run that. And that's how I've been doing a lot of my investment stuff over the years. So you want to invest properly. It doesn't sound like enough, but let's see what we have here. Yeah, 42 to 64, 20 key. At 30. All right, let's see what we got pulled up here. All right. Oh, wait. Yeah, it looks like you're run out of money at 56 is what I show. Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah. So if you withdraw 24 a year, you'll be fine. If you withdraw 36 a year, you run out at 56. So it just depends on your withdrawal rate and honestly how much you earn. So invested properly, it looks like maybe, but do your own math and do your own research and look at that. Yeah, invested in stocks and markets. It just depends on the earnings, right? I got lucky, man. I got lucky where, I was able to, I earned good money early on in my investments. Like the past couple of years, I was like getting 20, 30%. I got lucky because I was going to be a little bit short. But so I would just run your own math. But when I ran the quick numbers, it looked like if you spend, $2,000 a month, 24 a year, that should last you. But if you bumped it up to 36 a year, you'll be in trouble. You'll run out at 56. So, but yeah, check it out, man. Good luck. It's always exciting. I remember when I was running this math, when I was looking through it, I was like, man, it's close. It's close. Jose, I'm headed to Panglao to do some diving mid-September. Oh, nice. Good for you, dude. Yeah. Dude, that Napoleon Reef, so cool, man. Gorgeous. Now, I'm not scuba certified, but I was just out there snorkeling and absolutely loved it. Really just gorgeous. I remember I was watching, what movie was that? With a freaking fish, Dora, Finding Nemo. Do you remember one of those scenes where you've got these little like the car wash scene where they got the fish going through the car wash? I saw that. I had my snorkel on. I'm looking down. I see these fish coming in, and then these little fish were cleaning the fish off, right? That's the freaking coolest thing. I was like, oh, check it out. There's the scene from Finding Nemo. Yeah, I'm an idiot. But I'm into, I'll snorkel, man. I like that kind of stuff for sure. It's fun. Hey, can you elaborate? All right. Yeah, yeah. So it's a little bit hard, right? I think I've talked a lot about that in the other lives, and I've got a video too that kind of goes through everything I did there that I'll post out. I haven't edited it. I've just been so busy. I haven't done a video in over a week now. But anyways, um, but yeah. So I invest in I have two Schwab accounts. Basically index funds. I think I shared that before. One of them, what is it called? SC. I can't remember what it was, but just an S&P index fund, right? And that's kind of what I'm going through. And then I'll take out whatever 5,000 at a time every couple months or so, and then live off that, and then pull another 5,000 when I need it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And that money needs to last me to 59 and a half. And then when I'm 59 and a half, I can access my 401k. And my 401k, I've been maxing out for 20 years or so. So that should be good off of that. Now, these monies, the amount of money that I'm talking about, you can't live in the United States on, but here in this country, you know, when you're talking about a rent I mean, once I get everything set up in my place, my rent's only going to be, you know, $210 a month. So when you're living on that type of wages, you can, or when you're living on that type of bills, your yearly income that you need can be pretty low. So I'm planning on living on between 24 and 36 myself. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I do, is living off of that stuff. And then it's really just a game to get to 59 and a half. And then once I get there, I'll be fine. So I'll turn 55 in November. So I got 4.5 more years. We'll see how it goes. But I'm in good shape. I should be all right. It's close though, right? Like I've got to be careful. Like I can't go totally crazy. Yeah, you stayed in Butuan for 2 days. It was cool. Yeah, I like it, Jose. I really like the vibe here. I like this kind of the big city, small town vibe. Like I was saying before, I like that it's big enough that I can get my stuff. I have a grocery store. You know, I have an actual grocery store where I can get stuff, man. I didn't have that in Pond. There was grocery stores, but I mean, good luck finding even like, you know, peanut butter. You can't find that, you know, or every now and then, you know, it's like stuff shows up and then it's gone. But yeah, I've got a full-on grocery store. I got multiple. I got a big old Robinson's grocery store, which is very much like a Western grocery store. And then I've got an SM grocery store, which same, just big old grocery stores, which is nice. So yeah, but then again, a small enough town vibe where you don't have big traffic stuff. You can get out of town fast. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm a fan so far. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that, brother. Whatever, man. I try and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm figuring life out like the rest of us. You know, we are, and I give people breaks on that because no one's got the answers. No one does, right? We're just living our lives. But thank you, brother. Eddie, looking forward to September. Should be there a month and hopefully moving next year. Yeah, you're doing it right, Eddie. Come check it out. Spend some time, get a feel for it, and then ask yourself every day when you wake up, could I live here? That's what I did when I did my scouting trip. Every day I got up, could I live here? And really what got me, and everyone else says this too, so it's common, but the interactions that I have with the people, the curiosity, the friendliness, that kind of deal, really just kind of spoke to me. It's like, all right, because I'm the kind of guy that can feed off the energy of other folks. So a real negative environment just doesn't work for me, right? I really want to be around positive people. And the Philippines is that, you know, and a lot of that too is because we're foreigners, right? So they interact with us in a way because we're different, you know? So it's not like, I say that because it's a little bit, you know, people say, well, they're treating you that way because you're a foreigner. So that's important to kind of point out, because if you're in an area where there's a lot of other foreigners, you know, you're whatever, you might not get, they might just ignore you, which whatever, right? But when you're in some of these other areas where there's not a lot of foreigners go, there's a little more of this respect. There's a little more of this curiosity. and interest, and which is great. I mean, who doesn't want to be around people who are interested in you as a human being, right? Who doesn't want to be around people who find you interesting and want to chat and that kind of deal? So I enjoy that, right? And because I'm the same way. I find what they're up to interesting. There's a neighbor guy just down the street from me. He and I have been chatting in the morning, and just a great guy. Similar age. I mean, he may be a little bit older, Filipino, and just we're just friendly people, just chatting with each other. So yeah. If this is a new pad, did I miss the tour? The room looks bigger. Then yeah. So yeah. So this is just an Airbnb that I'm in. This isn't my current living situation, but this is just an Airbnb. So yeah, decent place, not bad. It's got a nice, good sized TV. One bedroom over here. I got some crap on the ground, whichever you can't really see, but couch and living space here. This is called a row house, and it's really small. Decent bathroom in here. I think the camera's showing me. But yeah, and then the kitchen and stuff is behind over here. So yeah, I mean, not a bad spot. I don't mind it. It's actually well done. I think the price of this is whatever, 1,200 pesos a night, so inexpensive. Speaking of which, there was some confusion on one of the videos that I put out regarding the prices and stuff. The whatever, $160 a month. That was actually the price that I had negotiated with the owner. So that wasn't the price through Airbnb, just to kind of pinpoint that. Some people commented on like, clickbait. It's like, no, man, that's the price. Anyways, but yeah, so this isn't my house. This is just my Airbnb that I'm staying in while my place gets set up. So still have some things to work through there. I've got to get the AC installed. Matter of fact, this morning at 9 a.m., meeting the contractors over there to do some work. So we'll probably go another half hour, and then I gotta get over there. But yeah, so this is just the Airbnb. As far as the new place, I'll probably shoot it. I don't think I'm going to shoot the outside at all, but I will shoot a lot of stuff inside. And the reason being is I want to keep the exact location a little bit private, just because I had some people, whatever, right? I'll probably keep the exact outside stuff private, and there's not much to see outside anyways, really. But I'll definitely shoot stuff inside. I'll give you guys a tour inside for sure. Hey, George from Halifax, Canada. Nice, brother. Yeah, my girl is from, oh, dude, so beautiful there. But we have an apartment in, what's that, Balingansanga? Dude, really beautiful there. Calvera, so gorgeous. You know what? Let's pull that on the map. I think that is where I was talking about earlier, right in between here. So, yeah, right through here, right? Gorgeous. Man, just so beautiful through here. Really excited about getting in this route from Hinog down through here. Epic. Matter of fact, I think my buddy is there right now, riding through here. Can't wait. Really gorgeous riding. Yeah. Directions. How far is that away? A couple hours, right? Yeah, 2 hours and 41 minutes. Epic. Yeah, this whole ride into Hinog is just incredible too. Really big switchback road, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right through here was big switchback. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm digging the riding out here. It's gorgeous. So yeah, man. Yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. Yeah, I like it. I'm excited to explore and see what's going on out here. Yeah, good for you. Hope all is well up in Halifax. I'll be back in the Philippines early September. Definitely want to check out Butuan. Yeah, George, come check it out. I like it. Yeah, I'm a fan. It's been good. I've invested 4 or 5 more years. I've 4 or 5 until if you have 401k. Yeah. I don't definitely run the math. And that's the beauty of the AI, guys. Really, you could plug all this in and that's what I love about AI is you have this expert in any field. I'm using it for a plumber, right? I'm out at these hardware stores. I'm taking pictures of these freaking tanks and these jet pumps and these pressure stuff. I wasn't a plumber. Now, granted, I don't feel like qualified enough to freaking go do the work, but now I can ask questions about what these things are. and have answers to. I'm just so incredibly blown away. And investing is another area where you could use AI. Now, you wouldn't want to have AI invest for you, but you could ask this scenario exactly. Say, look, I'm this age, I've got this amount of money. I'm looking to head to the Philippines. This is the amount of money that I'd like to spend, somewhere between 24 and 36 a year. What can I make it? Do I have enough? Am I going to run out of money? Those are questions that you can ask and boom, have answers to. Just so incredibly powerful. I just really invite you guys, if you're not dabbling in that kind of stuff, jump in there. Judging by my age demographic, a lot of you guys might not be. Just really invite you to it. DeepSeek is completely free. Chat GPT, which is what has the most kind of commercial attention, right? They charge $20 a month. I use I pay for that just because I'm in there. I don't even know how many times a day. It's just so incredibly useful. But I really invite you guys to explore AI. Yeah, because it's such an incredible tool for whatever. I mean, you got have you ever hired a personal trainer? Have you ever hired anyone to do any type of work, right? Electrician, a plumber, anything. I mean, that's kind of what you have right here is you have an expert in any field, in any industry right here. And to have access to ask those questions, I mean, so incredibly valuable, right? Stock market to the moon. Let's do it, Finch. I hear to take out 1 year of money and let the rest ride. Yeah, what I wanted to do, Fitch, is just because I wanted to, because I am pretty much all invested in the markets. If there was a lot low or a high point, if I just grabbed little points, like whatever 5,000 at a time, the current daily price doesn't have a big factor versus pulling out 30K for the year, right? So that was my thinking, is I would make whatever 5 withdrawals a year versus 1 withdrawal. That way I could let my money grow, and I'm not necessarily impacted by highs or lows, right? That was my thought around that, Jane. Can we be honest that women you dated, the one in their 30s was a nutty chick? Reno Rocket. Can we be honest that women you dated in their 30s was a nutty chick? I mean, yeah, I don't know who you're talking about in particular, and I can't necessarily name anyone in particular, but yeah, there's been some roller coaster rides in my dating world for sure, man. There really has been, but I think that should be expected. That should be expected. I mean, the great thing about dating out here is it's abundant, and if there's someone who you don't necessarily jive with, you can date somebody else. But just like everything else in life, right? There's one set of problems for every problem that you solve. There's another set of problems that go with the whole area. And what I mean by that is, life in the United States, life in the West, there's no dating. And here there's dating, but then you've got a whole nother set of problems around dating, right? So, but yeah, no, I mean, I would, in the name particular people, I dated Joe for 4 or 5 months, whatever, not very long, but we dated for a while. She's a great girl. She's just a young girl, right? They're young, and I learned a lot about dating from her in the Philippines. And one of the things when you're dating someone who's half your age, you really want to take on or look at being a mentor for them. You can't expect them and to have the same life experiences and all these things. So there's just, to me, that was a big lesson I learned with her is, all right, I'm not dating a 50-year-old person. I'm dating someone who's half my age. And it's not that they're unintelligent. They're just unexperienced in life in some ways. So just taking on this mentorship role. But yeah, no, everyone that I've dated so far, I haven't dated a bunch of girls, right? I've only really been in 2 long-term relationships, but I've dated girls in between there, and they've been fine. Yeah, it's really, the Filipinos are great people. They really are. They're warm. They're friendly. Granted, there was some drama around some stuff, but there's drama in any relationship. So yeah, pretty wild though. It is good dating out here. I would say if you're looking for a wife or a girlfriend, this is a great place to be for that. If you're looking to date around a little bit, there are probably some other countries that might be a little bit better fit just because of the religious stuff that's here. and the deep beliefs and the Catholic, and they don't really want to date around. They have the same date to marry. So if that's the dynamic, there might be other countries, but the dating here is really good. And there's challenges with any relationship. I've got $1,000 a month cash flow, plus looking at making a nice 6-figure profit from selling my house. Okay. So at 46, why not retire early and enjoy life, plus a sweet investment that's actually legit? Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, I mean, you can't live on $1,000 a month. I mean, most of us can't. Filipinos do, but most Westerners can't. But yeah, man, yeah, just do your homework. Look at what's out there. Look what's available. And I agree, brother. I got out. I left the 6-figure income or 6-figure job to come out here at the age of whatever, 53 or whatever the hell, however I was when I came out here. I'm with you. I got it, man. I wanted to enjoy my life. I wanted to have my life be about me and what I wanted to do. I wanted financial freedom, and you can have that here for, a third of the money that you need in the West. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I did the same thing. I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. If anything, I love it. I really do love what I'm up to and what I'm getting to do. Now there have been some oh crap moments and some fear stuff just around whatever, adapting to life with no water, right? So there's some stuff like that for a recent example, but there's, like I said, there's solutions to problems. And if you have that mindset, if you really take on, the flexibility and being fluid and looking at, and then, working 20 years in the IT industry on a desk, doing desk support, I learned really quick. You can't hate problems. You got to love problems. And I think if you can have that here, you'll be just fine. You got to be able to solve stuff. But yeah. I never met a single woman over 30 that wasn't a pain. Well, here's what I'll say to that is that I think relationships in general can be a little bit of a challenge. I struggle with relationships sometimes because I'm an easygoing guy, but for the most part, and then I'm not. I moved to the Philippines to be around happy, friendly people. So I am particular. Like, I keep my circle pretty small, and that has been ever since I was a kid. I was never the kind of person that had masses of amount of friends and that kind of deal. I've always had friends, but one or two really kind of small circle of people. Just because, whatever, man. I don't mind my own company. I don't. I really enjoy it, and a lot of times the less people that you have in your environment, the better off. Is one of the things I've learned. The more you can rely on yourself, the more for your own fulfillment and things like that, I find that the better off you really are. So yeah, I would say people in general, where people can bring drama. People can bring drama, regardless of the gender. But yeah, Mary Rose, my current relationship, she's a great girl, and we've talked about requirements of the relationship for both of us, and for me, it's no drama. We got to work through stuff pretty quick, and it's not like you can't have drama moments or you can't have that, but they've got to get resolved pretty quick, right? We got to get to happy state pretty quick, and I think that's the sign of any successful relationship. It's not that you never fight. It's not any of that freaking garbage. We all know that we do, but it's how quickly can you get back, right? How quickly can you get back to something that's great? If you fight and have an argument and within 15, 20 minutes, boom, that's resolved. Dude, that's a great relationship. That's a relationship that can solve problems. I look for that in any of my friendships, any of my relationships in general. Is how quickly can we get, not that we never had problems and stuff like that. That's fairy tale. But how quickly can you resolve those problems, right? That's what I look for in all my relationships, whether those are friendships or whatever, right? So Chris, I'm looking at the Triumph Tried-Up 660. Dude, the triple. Love it. Triumph's got another offering too, that 800. That also looks nice. Is that a little bit too big of an engine for the Philippines? Maybe. But the Triumph 660, dude, people are loving that bike. Loving that bike. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I like it. There's a Triumph Tiger 800 Sport. It's kind of a sport touring bike. I've had my like eye on that as well. Digging it. I like it. It looks good. Yeah, no, dude, the 660 looks good. Looks like a phenomenal machine. And Triumph, you know, especially if you got dealership there, of course you freaking rebuild your own engine if you need to. But you know, you've got dealer support there. I think it's a great machine, even in Cebu. Shout out to Scout is his name there at the Cebu dealership in Triumph. Just really awesome guy, man. I've been over there a bunch of times. Took a bunch of foreigners over there. But yeah, I don't know about your dealer there in the Manila area, but in Cebu there's a phenomenal Triumph dealership there. But yeah, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of Triumph. I like the 400X. I think they've gotten a new. I think they got that 400. A couple of different offerings from Triumph where they got the 400 in the street version and the what do you call the crap? I can't remember. It's not a dual sport, but Scrambler. And then I think they've got another 400 series that they've kind of beefed up that 400X a little bit. I'm a fan, man. I like what they're doing. I think they're a great manufacturer. I like them. I like them a lot. Yeah, good for you, Richard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still happy with a Honda 500X. I mean, I kind of got my eye on a couple of other bikes. Nothing's really standing out. I wouldn't maybe try the new Honda ADV 350. I don't know. We'll see. I've got two bikes now. I've got Mary Rose has got the ADV 160, which is a great Philippines bike, and I've got the NX. I'm keeping an eye on bikes as they come out, but nothing's like really pulling at my wallet right yet. Lowell, good morning. Just got here. I was wondering, are you on a visa-free or SRRB? Unfortunately, I can not move for another year. Getting shoulder surgery soon. I will continue to watch. Yeah, no worries, Lowell. So I am on a tourist visa. Matter of fact, I got to pick up my visa today. My first visa renewal here in Butuan. So I'm on the tourist visa, which gets you here for 3 years, and then you need to leave the country for at least whatever 24 hours a weekend, and then you can come back. I will probably eventually go to a retirement visa once. Probably I thought that was Pandasal, but eventually once I get where I'm bringing in Social Security, because right now for me, with no Social Security, it requires a $20,000 deposit in a Philippines bank, which I've got the money to do that. It's just what bothers me about doing that is 20,000 sitting there making no interest, right? That bothers me. And so anyways, so that's what I'm doing a little bit. So, but my plan once I get older, I'll probably get a retirement visa once I get a pension of 1,500, because once I start pulling Social Security, that 20 grand drops to 10, and that's whatever. That's fine for me. I don't mind that as much. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now, Lowell. Yeah, thank you for showing the places. Is that a laptop? What freaking camera follows you around almost 180 degrees? That looked awesome. Yeah, so I'm on my MacBook, and yeah, so with StreamYard, I can do presentation and stuff like that where I can add the screen to show maps and stuff. I really like doing that, especially as we're talking about areas. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about, you know, just get an idea of where stuff we're at. I think is really important. I think it helps people out. So I like doing that. And then my camera, it's the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Actually, I don't shoot with it much. I shoot with it a little bit because my other camera, this isn't the one, but when I first started vlogging, I use this camera a lot. This is what gives you those really cool 360 views because of how these cameras are. And but this one's really good. But the original version, the X3 that I was shooting with, it was horrible on low light. I mean, absolutely horrible. And I don't even mean like low light. I mean like even like if it's not super bright, it just doesn't work well. So anything indoors, it didn't do. So I bought this camera here so that way I could shoot indoor stuff. And but now I don't really use it because this X5, this new camera, is so good everywhere. So I shoot with this everywhere. By the way, a link in the video descriptions if you want an affiliate link. So much for non-discreet sales plug. But anyways, this is the DJI Osmo, and really good camera, phenomenal camera, really good. I just don't use it much anymore. I use it for stuff like if I post on Patreon, just the kind of run and gun kind of stuff and want to shoot really quick, just a couple minute videos on updates and stuff like that. So I'll use it for that and use it for my live streams. But yeah, really, I dig the camera. It's a good camera. Yeah. And it is a really, I would say, if you're looking to get into vlogging, if you want to do a channel, that camera is really good. And get it with a microphone too, get the whole kit. And that could be all you need. Really good camera. Once you get used to it and the nuances of that camera, I actually highly recommend it for vlogging. I got hooked up on this 360 crap, and love it, hate it. Some people can't stand my footage because of it, but I love this camera. I love how I get to shoot with it, stuff like that. I love it. And so, but this Osmo camera is probably one of the better vlogging cameras that you could probably get. I just got 20K in cash for 1 year to live on here in the States. I got 20K in, yeah, okay. That's not a lot for the States. It's not a lot here. Some guys do it, but yeah. The 500 always goes up. What are we talking about, Jane? The 500 always goes up, yeah. Rich, I've been thinking about city like BGC or Cebu, but it seems that a lot of foreigners there, kind of like a mini US. I really want to stay away from that and live life around more Filipino style. Rich, I'm right with you. And that's honestly why I left Cebu. Now, here's what you can do, Rich, because as everyone says this, but it's true. Use Cebu as your soft landing. Get there in Cebu, get a little bit used to it. Use it as your spot to travel around to figure out where you want to be, and then go move there. Especially if you've got budget to do that, and I don't mean a lot of money, like $3,000 a month. Get a place there in Cebu. Get your feet wet. Stay at Selenia, right there in the freaking business park. Stay there. Exactly where I stayed. Super easy. You don't have to worry about transportation. Right across the dang street from you is everything you need in the Ayala Mall. You got your food and stuff. Stay there for 6 months. I stayed there for a year, but stay there for 6 months. Get your feet wet. Get all this stuff figured out, and then go, all right, you know what? I want to go to Iloilo. I want to go to whatever, Bacolod. I want to go to Ormoc, wherever. Right? That's if doing it all over again there. I mean, Davao City is another one, but the thing about Davao, it doesn't necessarily allow you to kind of explore other regions so easily. Cebu is really centrally located. I like Davao too. I'll probably end up living in Davao, I think maybe, but Davao would be another good starting point. Potentially. The Cebu would be good if in the scenario like I just described, like you want to check out other regions really quick. But if you're looking for right away, like, look, I want a little bit of a bigger city with amenities, but not all the foreigners, Davao would be a great option. Yeah, it's just you don't have access to other areas as easily, but you still have an airport you can fly to. Admittedly, for me, I don't really fly at all. I take my motorcycle and ride around everywhere, but Davao would be another good option. You need transportation. There is Grab there in Davao, but transportation is something you'll want in Davao versus like Cebu in the business park. You don't want it. You don't need it. It's actually more of a hindrance than it is a help in Cebu, I personally feel. But yeah, a lot to take in, lots to take in. And you're right. Some of these areas with more foreigners, you don't have you don't get a real good experience with the Filipinos just because you're, whatever, versus like when you're out in some of these other areas. But also, Rich, I think it's hard for us to kind of plan ourselves in some of these provinces. Really, if you've seen my video on how to poop in the province, could you see yourself living there? Not a lot of people can do that fresh off the boat. I don't think I could have done it fresh off the boat. It would have been hard to be there. So, but yeah, come out, Rich, come check it out, brother. One of the things that I kind of struggle with too, and it's probably pretty obvious, is what's the saying? Analysis paralysis. You can, you can all day long trying to analyze the situation where to be, and it's never going to be perfect. What's this? Sometimes you just got to throw your hat over the wall. You know, sometimes you just got to throw the hat over the wall and then freaking go get it. And that's scary, brother. For you and me, I get it, man. I get you're wired like me. But sometimes you just got to throw your hat over the wall. Yeah, good for you, brother. Hey, what's up, Denver? Yeah, hello from Denver. Glad we met. Heading back to the Philippines in a few weeks. I've been looking at a place to live in CDO, Butuan. Yeah, sure. Yeah, man. Well, I don't know, Will, if you know this, but I lived in Denver for freaking 20 years, dude. I moved in Colorado in the late 90s and moved to the Philippines, whatever the hell year that was, 2022, 2023. So very familiar. I moved to Boulder initially and then lived, where the hell did I lived in Longmont, bought a house in Aurora, and was in Broomfield my last time. So yeah, man, very familiar with the Denver area. Yeah. All right. So looking to place live in CDO, Butuan, or Siargao. Yeah. Are you? So let's pull up the map, and then we can talk about a lot of these regions. So are you talking the island of Siargao or Surigao City? I always struggle with this too. Surigao City. I know they're sound very similar. So Surigao City, I actually stayed here a couple of times. I like it actually. It's okay. As you can see here by these dotted lines, these are all the ferry routes. So and I think that was a nickname of the city. I can't remember, the Gateway City or something like that. But dude, you can get to some cool freaking islands from there for sure, including Surigao. But the thing about, I don't really like this whole General Luna, it's just too touristy. It's similar to Boracay. I don't really want to be in the super touristy spots. However, as a buddy of mine pointed out, shout out to you, brother. You know who you are. You can get up to northern Surigao and have a good time up here and be super remote and have a great experience. So, but if you're talking about Surigao City, yeah, I mean, I liked it. I shot some videos from there. Good sized town, decent housing, a little bit more provincial than Butuan. Like, so here's why I say that is the malls weren't as nice there. And what a nice mall brings for you is just freaking really good restaurants. And as a single guy, I'm not a single guy, but as a guy who eats out a lot, that is important, man. That is just really important. And when you get these malls here that have these really good restaurants and eateries, it just makes for a better living experience for me. You know, you can go all these different restaurants and you can eat out and, you know, get your food. And Surigao City didn't have those options like Butuan does. So, but in Surigao City, you can travel to all these other little islands much easier than you can in Butuan. CDO, whatever, it's all right. CDO didn't speak to me. It really didn't. Nothing against it. Again, it's, you know, whatever, salt and vinegar potato chips, right? To each their own and our own preferences. But CDO just really didn't speak to me. And I just didn't really like it. It felt like it didn't feel thought out. It felt discombobulated. There was a lot of traffic. You got kind of this newer region up in what the hell you call that area up there? Anyways, it didn't jive with me. Like the couple of malls that were really nice, but they were kind of downtown in the traffic. And then CDO might be a good town 5 years from now. Especially if you can stay in that. Let's pull up the map. In the one region that's there, just so I can remember off the top of my head. I can't remember what Uptown. Yeah, there we go. Uptown. So yeah, I mean, CDO Uptown looks pretty cool. But yeah, whatever. It's all right. It just, for me, it wasn't a standout. And I talked about that in the live before. I'd probably go to Davao over CDO for sure. I'd go to Cebu over CDO. But yeah, not bad. Yeah, good for you, man. Good for you, Will. Hope all's good in Denver, my old hometown. Have you heard of the 72T for your IRA? I have not heard of the 72T for my IRA. Hey, I'm still on this live stream and a gentleman just brought up 72T for my IRA. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Sorry, I was asking AI about that. If you're referring to the ability to withdraw at the age of 55. I'm pretty sure that has to deal with if I quit my job, laid off, or get fired. Yeah. You set up a plan to take equal periodic payments annually for your IRA. The amount is based on your life expectancy. Once you start, you must continue these payments for 5 years or until you turn 59. Brother, I've not heard of this. Thank you. I'll be digging a little bit more on that. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Ooh. Ooh. I appreciate that. I will be digging a little bit more on that. I was not aware of the 72T. Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's what's great about this community, right? I mean, seriously, that's what's great about this community. Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate that. That's really interesting. I should be good, but in the event that I'm not, always good to have a backup plan. Yeah. And so I have to withdraw for 5 years, but whatever. I mean, we're talking small amounts, right? I should be good though. That's really, yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes, Martis Lamboy. Good morning, sir. Yes, Mayang Buntag. How are you? Magandang umaga. Yes, good morning, everyone. Yeah, the withdrawals must be part of a series of substantially equal periodic payments based on your life expectancy or the joint expectancy of your beneficiary. Brother, I'm going to be looking at that. I really appreciate that. New subscriber. Yeah, thank you. Mabuhay. Yeah, thanks for being here. Really appreciate that. Yo, great videos and found your channel last week. Yeah, great info. Thanks for the content. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Look, I'm a very open and I don't know if I'm an honest guy, but I'm a very open guy. I like to laugh. I like to joke. I'm serious though. I get how serious and uptight I can be sometimes. I'm pretty particular. But I feel like I have a little bit of integrity and some values, and I'm a family guy. A couple kids, and just starting my life over here in the Philippines and share my experiences. I'm not into dating a bunch of, I'm not here to churn and burn through women and that kind of deal. I do have a girlfriend. She's substantially younger, which comes with its challenges, but I don't know. I kind of pride myself of being a respectful human being. I'm definitely all about not dishonoring or disrespecting the Philippines culture. And just kind of living a new chapter of my life. Looking to meet like-minded people, great friends, great community, and helping each other out, like this gentleman, Proof One, and a bunch of us people do here on this channel. Richard up in Manila has helped a bunch of guys out. But welcome. I do a bunch of like travel stuff and just kind of everyday stuff. I haven't shot a video in over a week now, which honestly is a little bit long for me. I like to shoot content once a week. But that's a little bit about the channel and what I like to do and talk about here. But really appreciate it. Welcome people who are new and are not. But yeah, I'm in Butuan City. Been here for the last couple weeks now. Currently working in a juvie detention after 10 years enough, I don't drink and just enjoy peace and quiet. Yeah, I got my PS5. I'm good. Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, good for you. Yeah. That's military grade, I would assume, right? Yeah. Yeah, what hard work, but good for you. Man, yeah, good for you. You definitely you are in a position to make a big difference with a lot of young people's lives and really transform them. So good for you. I hope that goes well, and I hope you get over here soon. I'm with you. On the alcohol part, I gave up drinking 2015. So that life-changing experience there. For sure. Yeah, good for you, brother. Yeah, it's good day from Butuan. Well, howdy, neighbor. What's up? On motorbikes, I've gotten a 411 Royal Enfield. Brother, we got to meet. I already tell. I like your style. It's a great bike for around here, especially the side of mountain. Yeah, man, we got to meet, dude. I dig your style already. You know a lot about a person from their bike. A 411 Himalayan. Yeah, good for you, dude. Would love to chat. Dave, what's up, brother? Guess what I got? I got water problems in Butuan City. You know what? I need to make some coffee real quick. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It is crazy. Did I make? Yeah, okay, I'm good. Yeah, so my apartment has got no water, and so when I got a, but there's a solution. You get a water tank, you get a water pump, done, right? Whatever. I think 20,000 pesos. So I'll probably be there long term and live through there. But yeah, yeah, turn on some water for some coffee. Yeah, what's up, Dave? Hope you're good. Chris, where is a good area that is near the beach but still has enough going on? See, that's one of the big challenges, Doug. You know, given that you're an island, a lot of these shorelines are pretty rocky, right? Volcanic stuff. So it can be a challenge to find good beaches sometimes. But you know, I don't know. I like where I'm at now. I think I just saw a beach. There's some beaches nearby that are a couple hours away, Kamigan and stuff like that. You know, what's that island to the? Hold on a second. Let's pull this up. What's the island area to that a lot of people talk about too? Yeah, I mean, Bohol would be a good option. Panglao, right? Bohol and Panglao is a good option. Panglao would be good because you got a bunch of touristy stuff with restaurants and stuff. So if you could be out on the island, that might not be too bad. Yeah, Bohol would be good up in Anda up there where Jonathan was at. Sikihor might also be another good option to be if you're looking for beach and a little more of that province experience. Sikihor might be good. Bohol, Sikihor, where else for beach? I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed a lot of. I mean, Palampon was good for that. There's a really cool beach down through there. Um, yeah, I like that a lot, man. Yeah, it depends, brother. But it is a little bit hard to find that. Admit it, you know, it's kind of ironic because you're on this beach, right? And you would think they'd be everywhere, but um, yeah, I remember this place, man. Remember this place? Gosh, freaking gorgeous. So they're there. Yeah, that place was epic, man. Dude. And Joe and I stayed there, right? So we stayed on this freaking converted lifeguard hut. You know the lifeguard hut that you see there? So it was raised up like that, super small, no AC, and we stayed in there for the night on that beach right there. So Douglas, it is a little bit hard to find kind of that dynamic, but I mean, there's a lot of places. You might have to drive a little bit, but yeah, Bohol, Panglao come to mind right off the bat that you could still have some stuff there. A couple places. Yeah, good luck with that, brother. Have you ever been in an earthquake in the Philippines? Yeah, I have been. I remember uh, Mary Rose was like, "Hey, what's that?" Or she was like, she was on the couch watching TV, and I was standing up like I am now, and she immediately felt it, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And the second later, I felt it. And earthquakes are a little bit, unless you're used to being in them, they can freak your world out a little bit. They did me, and because there's nothing like the earth shaking below you to kind of rattle your sense of reality. And um, and I kind of knew I'd been in some earthquakes before in Ohio. Ironically, when I was there as a kid, there was one 6.0 on the Richter scale, so a good sized quake, right? And but yeah, no, I've been in some earthquakes, small stuff. I think the one that we'd been in was like 3 on the Richter scale, so nothing big, but enough to where I felt it, and the TV was rattling a little bit. I almost think there might have been a mild one here the other day because I was looking down at my water glass and it was shaking a little bit. So earthquakes are pretty common. They're pretty here. I think in Davao, they can be a little more aggressive or whatever. They can be a little more substantial down in that region. Leyte, they definitely were. Cebu had a couple. I remember there was one at night that popped up while I was sleeping, but it shook the building a little bit. Some people the next day were like, "Hey, did you feel that earthquake?" And I was out. But yeah, earthquakes are pretty common here. The picture the picture of the box of the upcoming DJI Osmo 360 has been leaked. Yeah, July 29th appears to be the release date. Yeah, I'm a big fan of DJI. I think they make phenomenal products, really good products. I mean, really good, like the best. And the other manufacturers are coming up, but You know, I've got microphones, I've got cameras for them, I got drones. Yeah, I'm a big fan. The one thing that's kind of a pain for me is their products can be a little bit hard to get versus my Insta360. Insta360 will ship right to my freaking door, man. These guys are freaking phenomenal, and they're coming from China. Of course, DJI is also, but these guys will ship right to my door. So DJI, I've got to freaking maybe go to Cebu to get crap, right? So, but anyways, I think I'm good on cameras right now. I don't see the need to pick up anything new camera-wise other than the DJI new drone when that comes out, the Mini 5 Pro. So I think that'll shake me a little bit as far as getting some new equipment. But yeah, no, it's I probably won't pick up that DJI camera just because I don't really need a new camera. I've got the X3, I've got the X4, I've got the X5, I've got this DJI. Plus, I actually shoot a lot with my phone. You know, I've got a ton of cameras. On the DJI Pocket 3 makes total sense now. I knew it wasn't your laptop camera. Yeah, I would think I would break the Osmo. Yep, but you do have to be a little bit careful with it. So, but here's how you can do that. You have a kit that you know it slides in here and will protect, and then you have the case. So as long as you're good with that, you know, as a new vlogger, I kind of wish this was out. I might have went that direction versus the 360, but I was really interested in that technology. But this is just everything you need. You've got your mic, you've got your camera. It makes it really simple. It's really good quality footage. You can shoot at night. It checks a lot of boxes. And it probably is the best vlogging camera that's out there. I got hooked on the 360 stuff, and I really enjoy shooting with that camera a lot. Now, granted, it increases the workflow significantly. So there's kind of like two edits that are associated with it, but I'm just a huge fan. I like the video. I like what I get to do with it. I like how kind of fun and creative and quirky it can be at times. Yeah, I really like it. I like the fact that I don't have to worry about framing the shot. Just hold out the stick, and then I can point the camera wherever I want afterwards, depending on what looks good. So yeah, congrats on your move, brother. Just jumped. Yeah, and still playing catch up. Yeah, down to just a couple weeks now. Okay, you're down to a couple weeks now, Mick. Yeah, good for you, man. Oh, Edmund. Yeah, brother. Oh, good for you, brother. Yeah, good for you. I hope all is good. Yeah, good for you, man. Really excited about it. Look me up when you get down here, man. Really excited about what you get set up here. Yeah, man. So cool. Congratulations. Thanks for the calls too. It's been really cool connecting and chatting with you. So really appreciate that. Yeah, at Rich 8, if you're looking to be in Luzon area, you have all you need. Yep. You look to Naval area, Santa Rosa, Naval. It's like a province, but get it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Been up there for quite a while. Everything is up there. Yeah, and you can get out of Manila area and be kind of down south and Tagaytay and a bunch of areas down there. They're really nice. I'll work my way up there. I'll do the big ride up all through Leyte and then up in Luzon. I'll do that in the next couple of years for sure. And that's why too, other regions for me, I just still have so much to see here yet, right? I mean, I'd love to get out to Cambodia, as we're talking earlier, the Siem Reap and Phnom Penh and that, and Vietnam and Da Nang and Chiang Mai and Thailand and just so many other places. But gosh, I feel like I'm just getting started here, right? I got 10,000 kilometers on my bike and I'm just getting started. A lot to see. Hey, Philip, what do you think of this guy from Davao who's been in jail for 3 years waiting for trial for arguing with his girlfriend and wife? I did hear about that, Philip. I didn't know where he was at, but I know you're talking about another guy. What's his name? Captain Trucker. Really interesting character. Watching a couple of his videos. He's in the United States, but he talks about the Philippines, I guess. Anyways, he did a recent video on that situation, which kind of piqued my interest a little bit. But yeah, man, you just got to be careful. I think it points to that guy. So that guy there, right? Also that Vitality vlogger, right? And a bunch of guys who aren't in jail and are being disrespectful to the culture. And or to the people. And guys, we gotta be respectful here. Now we are in a different world. You know, one of the things that stands out about this, Philip, it's a culture that doesn't really exhibit or show any kind of anger. You know, I don't know if anyone's really ever talked about this before, and I think it's so key and important. It is a culture that's where we're so different. Like Americans, man, we're on the horn, we're giving you the middle finger, we're yelling at you, right? Road rage, you know, full on anger, people arguing in public, people getting in fistfights on subways, and you know, right? Like we are an angry culture, and stepping away from that, you know, being here, it's even more obvious. The Philippines isn't. So if you come here, those are one of the things you really have to let go living long term. It's not an angry culture, guys. You can't be loud, you can't be violent. You really have to tone it down. And in particular with your interactions, not only with your girlfriends, but with your girl, but with everybody. You yell at a store owner, you yell at people. I mean, that maybe that what got Tim K out of here, right? You know, it is different. Thankfully, it's different, but we have to be forewarned. You know, we have to be aware of that big major difference of, hey, you know what? Bringing that Western way of being rude, loud, obnoxious, disrespectful, showing your anger and violence, you can't do it. You can't. You're gonna end up in jail, in trouble, deported, any of that stuff. Be respectful. Be a good dude. You know, you have to, and I like that. I love that. I love that one of the requirements of being in this country is being a chill dude, man. If not, you get deported or get in jail. That's the way the rest of the world should be, in my opinion. Be a good dude or get the hell out. Be a good person. I mean, come on, man, right? Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Yeah, good points, Philip. Again, appreciate you. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of your questions are on my shorts. Davao is so conservative that motorcycle taxi is illegal. Yeah, I've noticed that. It's also illegal in foreign country of Malaysia. Vietnam, Malaysia are all places who guys don't want any interaction with locals. Yeah, Vietnam is a little bit different with the interactions, but I hear that they're a little bit curious, especially the younger generation, in talking with you. But yeah, Davao, there's no moto taxis there, and I don't know the reason behind that. But that was one of the things that bothered me about Davao. Is I really loved the moto taxis in Cebu. It was so easy, so inexpensive. Less like 30, 40 pesos, you can pop around town, man. Really, big fan. Jose, Rojas City is pretty nice too. Yeah, you visited Michael over there? Yeah. Canadian Beaver. Yeah, I haven't watched much of his stuff recently, but I definitely know who you're talking about for sure. I've not been over to Rojas. I've been over to Iloilo. I didn't really like Iloilo, but whatever. Salt and vinegar potato chips, right? To each their own. But whatever. Yeah, man. I definitely plan on riding around. What's it, Panay? I definitely plan on riding around that island and checking that out for sure. But it might be a little bit. You know, guys, I'm looking at the time. Hold on one second here. Let me see what I got. Let me check here. Good morning. What time are we meeting there? One second, guys. Sorry. All right. I just have to check in on something. Yeah, I like to check out Rojas. I like to check out Panay in general. I can't wait to ride that island. Looks really good. We met at Bass Pro. Oh, brother. Yes. Guys, what a cool story this was, right? What a cool story. Oh, I might have an internet issue. Okay. Looks like my connection might be a little bit unstable, but I met this guy. So freaking awesome, right? I'm back in Denver, Colorado. I'm checking out. I'm just kind of wandering around the store, right? I'm there with my daughter. We're killing some time, but I'm back in Denver, Colorado, and I'm looking at like boats, because one of the things I like to do out here is get like maybe a sea kayak and do some stuff around there. And I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm not from this country, but I'm just here visiting. He's like, where are you from? It's like, well, I've been in the Philippines the past couple of years. And his freaking eyes just light up. He's like, dude, I'm going. I was like, oh, but yeah, well, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I hope all is good there. Really cool chatting with you. That was a good time. Yeah, General Luna. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, he was caught cheating. Oh, well, who was caught at Philip? Am I missing something? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the guy who went in jail, he was caught cheating. Okay. But I also, yeah, I don't know the whole story, but yeah. Yeah, that's a dude, you got to be a respectful good dude over here, man. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Good morning, Rick. Good morning from Malos Central Luzon. Yeah, man. A couple guys from Luzon up there. Yep, and that are here on the channel now. Welcome to Butuan. I just drove down the road. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait to do that route. I can't wait to get up some of these mountainous regions, Bukatan, Malaybalay. I can't wait, man. Yeah. Yeah, good for you, Steve. Nice. If you're here in town, man, we can grab lunch or something. If you're around, shoot me an email. What's my email address? I think I set up I've got my own domain now. Chris@carefreechris.com. I think that's my email now. Feel free to reach out. That's probably the best way. What was I looking at here? Oh yeah, got to check that interaction. I'm supposed to be meeting somebody here this morning, so I just want to check on their timing, see how they're doing. Yeah. Hey, did you find riding around How do you find riding around Butuan? There are some great rides other side of Mount. Getting out there on my 411, dude. Let's go, man. I'm on an NX 500, so admittedly, I'm on pretty much a street bike, but I would love to get your input on riding around town. Now, I've only been on. I'll show you on the map real quick. I've only been on. I've only rode from Cebu down to, or not Cebu, CDO over to. There we go. I've only been through this mountainous region, CDO to Butuan, and I love this. But yeah, man, I can't wait. I can't wait to check it out. What mountain did you say again? Okay. Yeah, dude. Let's go. We should talk, man. We should meet. We should grab some lunch. I'm definitely down. No, that'll be fun. Lowell, since someone brought up this earlier, withdrawal from retirement funds, according to Jennifer Terry, the SREB Classic Visa deposits go up to 15K as of September this year. Yeah, I looked at this as well. Yeah, Lowell, I'm going to wait. So whatever, I'm 54 now. I'll probably wait till I'm 62 or so before, because I mean, that's probably when I'll do Social Security and start getting withdrawals. So who knows what it'll be like then. So whatever, 6 years from now, 7 years from now for me. Have you met Britt? Yeah, I've met Britt. Both you guys have found the fountain of youth, positivity and happiness in the frill. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've met Britt. We hung out when he first moved here a lot. So yeah, I know Britt well. I agree with you. Naval area is a beautiful area, in particular if you want a suburban lifestyle. Okay, cool. You're closer to Tagaytay and yep, Metro Manila, lots of open spaces. Yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah. Richard's been here for quite a while in the region in the Philippines. So, yep, he's got a good grip of what that region's like. Have you ever seen the new vlogger Jogo? I have seen a little bit of his stuff. He's in Duma and is very, very positive. Reminds me of you. Yeah, yeah. No, I actually have seen him. He's come up. Yeah. Is he still? So I remember because he came up in my feed when they passed the new Philippines vlogging stuff. So is he going to stick around or is he heading out? I have seen a lot. I don't really watch a ton of channels, but I have seen stuff that pops up here and there. But I have seen his stuff. I'm trying to remember who else I've kind of seen recently. Like I said, I don't really watch much of it, but I'm aware of who's around, right? The best beaches in the country are in Palawan. All right, that's cool. Is that camera something you had to buy on your MacBook? Yeah, it's that Osmo, the DJI Pocket Osmo. Kind of tracking me around a little bit. Yeah, it's just a face tracking tool in there. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's the DJI Pocket Osmo 3, I believe it is. And I originally bought this for low light stuff because this other camera that I shoot with Didn't do well in low light. However, the X5 latest one does. Yeah. Yeah. That's what this is. The Pocket 3. Yep. Really good kit. I'm almost 20K on my bike. Yeah. I've got just over 10K on mine. Yeah. Yeah. Tim K got thrown. I don't know, Jose. I don't know what the story is with Tim K. I don't. What I find interesting in that, though, and just this comes from me as someone who's vlogging and doing that, is the guy walked away from whatever 170,000 subscribers. So, you know, and what I mean by that is, you know, if he was making money at this, if this was profitable, if it was a good experience for him, people don't leave that kind of stuff, right? People don't leave a good experience. People don't leave, you know, profitable situations like that. And it really kind of opened my eyes up to like, wow, you know, this guy just walked away from it because it was so incredibly annoying that he couldn't do it anymore. You know, so yeah. But as far as what happened or what I have, dude, I don't have any idea. My assumption is that he just, you know, it's like, I'm out of here. You know, his wife Chrissy has a nursing degree, and you know, I don't know if that was ever intended to be used here in the Philippines. You know, I would suspect they probably always had a plan to go back to the United States after she graduated, and that's what they did. Whether or not that's the truth or not, dude, I have no idea. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. You know, there are some things about, you know, as a non-drinker, as a guy who quit drinking 2015 and that kind of deal, there are some things around that bothered me a little bit, but you know, teach their own. You know, you're gonna live your own life, but yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. Mike, what's up, brother? Well, how's the bug doing on that head? Yeah, it's good, man. Hope all is good there in Florida for you, man. Cheers. Are you the guy that dates ladyboys? Honestly, I have not dated a ladyboy yet. I don't think I will. I don't know. I've thought about doing some interviews with some ladyboys. There was quite a few in Cebu City, and that I would, you know, talk to and that kind of deal. And I thought it would be interesting content and interesting conversation. Just because, honestly, this question, I wanted to ask her how she wanted to be like labeled, right? Is it okay? Is ladyboy like an acceptable way to label, or what? I have met some guys. Interesting story about this, honestly. I had met this guy who I had hung out with and traveled with, and I'd met his girlfriend, and I was single at the time, and she was sitting out by the pool. And I walk by her, and she's absolutely beautiful, right? She's just stunning. And I see this stunning girl, and I'm single, and she's smiling, and I'm smiling. And you know, and I go into the gym and work out, and this guy's in there, and he says, "Oh yeah, whatever we talk about." And because I've hung out with him, I know him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my girlfriend's out there." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." So I didn't flirt with her or anything, but I was this close to, you know, asking for a number or whatever. Short story long, come to find out, she reaches out to Mary Rose and says, "Hey, um, you know, I know you've hung out with my boyfriend, and you know, so it's just this whole interesting, weird drama. But come to find out, she was a ladyboy. I had no idea, none, like zero. I mean, she looked very feminine. She was stunning. But whatever, man, teach their own. Is it something I've never dated a ladyboy? No, but whatever. I don't, if people want to do that, look, whatever, man. I don't judge people for that. I actually had a lot of gay friends. But nothing that I've ever really been interested in. I prefer dating women. So, but whatever. If someone wants to date a guy or whatever, that's whatever, man. You know what? Hold on one second. Sorry. Hello. Yes, my own buntag. Huh? Yes. What? I'm actually on another call. Could we make this quick? 9:30. I'll see you then. Salamat kayo. Okay, bye. All right, my AC guys are going to be there at 9:30, so I do have to wrap this up in a little bit. But look, on this particular comment, no, but to each their own, right? I had no problem with people doing whatever they do in their life, especially if they're a good human being, right? I know that is a pull for some of the guys coming here is to be able to date that type of scenario and situation because I mean, beautiful and attractive and whatever, right? So whatever, teach their own, brother, right? It's under $100 to fly to many other countries in Asia. Great to get refreshed by leaving. Yes, the Philippines every 59 days before I have to pay. Yeah. So, Dave, that's an interesting strategy. Another strategy that I might do is leave before 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. Before you have to do the exit stuff. Skull soup. No, he isn't. Okay. Good morning, Chris. I am back in September. What's up, Troy? Yeah. Yeah, man. Going to Hanoi, get up in the mountains. Yeah, and I would say Texas Filipino Ranch. All right, yeah, James. Yep. Yeah. I want to get up there too for sure. I want to meet that guy for sure. That's a guy, admittedly, I haven't watched a bunch of his content, but the content that I've seen from him, I dig that guy. So, but yeah. What's up, Rick? Yes. I'm in Panglao for the next 7 days. You ever visit this place? If so, I have not, Steve. I definitely want to change. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Panglao. Yes. I've been to Panglao a bunch of times. Yes. I like it. The thing I like about Panglao, it's very similar to Boracay, but at a smaller scale. You've got good restaurants. You got touristy things you could do. If I was going to, and I've shot a video on this, right? If I was here doing a vacation or like a scouting trip, I would definitely go to Panglao and do that whole Panglao experience. Freaking go up and see the chocolate hills, do the snakes, do the butterfly stuff, right? Do all of that touristy fun crap to do. As far as a long-term living experience, yeah, I mean, maybe because you do have access to good restaurants and stuff like that. I'm a fan. Yeah, I don't mind Panglao. Sweet. My buddy is on his way. Seems like most Filipinos constantly ask for money. I don't know about most. Indonesia is a gold mine for pure, non-scammy women. All right, yeah, interesting. But the only expat community there is a ridiculously congested island of Bali. Yeah. Interesting, Dave. I can do a 13A. Oh, okay. All right. I have to be. Yeah. Yeah. I bet because he's making money. Yeah, he's crushing it. Yeah, good for him though. Good for him. He seems like a good enough dude. I've seen like a video or so, but good for him. He does. He seems like a good character, a good dude. So the one video that I did watch was he was like, I'm getting out of here because of new vlogging stuff. And I can't, his type of style that I've seen so far where if he's just out shooting people, and that's kind of what, look, you just can't throw people on camera, especially if you're going to be disrespectful, right? And not that he was doing that, but vloggers are, and vloggers do. And so it's cramping that. But yeah, I mean, if he's crushing it like you doing and he's putting out videos every 2 or 3 days and they get like 20,000 views, the guy's making money, right? So it's pretty hard to kind of, and as soon as you leave the Philippines, that goes away. Yeah. What American food do you miss eating? I miss a good burger. Granted, I found some. Abaca Baking Company has a good burger. Yeah, good Italian food. There's some restaurants in Cebu that were good. There's some good restaurants here. A good salad, although I just found a good salad here in Butuan. I think is the name of the restaurant. Good ice cream. Yeah, good ice cream is hard to come by. Like anything with a cow, like anything, cheese, milk, beef, those are a little bit harder to come by. Like a really good milkshake, yeah, you ain't finding that here. Really good ice cream because it's, cheese, yogurt, all that stuff is really a little bit hard here. Good salads can be a little bit hard. Yeah, anything to do with a cow, anything to do with salads can be a little bit of a challenge. But on the flip side of that, fruits and veggies, my gosh, some of the best fruits I've ever had. A mango, man, the mangoes are unbelievable. It's like a Florida orange, you know, just you eat an orange in Colorado versus Florida, completely different, right? The same with the mangoes. They are just so amazing. So good. Yeah, really good. Yeah. Yep. I did hear he sold it, but you know, like I said, he pretty much walked away from it, right? Really interesting. Jogo decided to stay. Yeah, maybe you saw the video by Michael. Yeah, he did comment on that in that one video. I don't necessarily know if it's not going to be a big deal, though. I mean, I think it's a tool to get rid of guys who are just being like, there's this guy, you guys have probably seen it, right? He goes in IT Park and he's got a little bit of a Russian accent or whatever. And he does all this sexual content with these girls. You know, it's just like, come on, dude, this is a conservative country. And I think it's that, right? Or whatever, these guys that are just traveling around and filming younger girls and, or that, what they call poverty porn, right? Where they're just walking through these alleys and showing just these really decrepit, poverty stricken areas. But yeah, showing these underage girls on camera, I think is a big deal. I think vlogging in general now, you have to be a little more mindful, which is great. I mean, we should be. But yeah, I think it is going to be a bigger deal than people think. I think the channels who are respectful will be just fine. I think guys that are going out and being disrespectful, you're on the radar, and I think your days are numbered. And I mean, there's evidence of that, right? And I think that a lot of people call this the vitality law, right? Because of that guy. I don't think it's necessarily that, is that problem's been solved. But I do think it is for guys who are currently being disrespectful of the culture and his people. And those channels, you got to watch out, because now there's a law in place that can get you out of here. So, and an agency that is monitoring and watching. So I think it is a little bit something to be mindful of. I'm older than I've ever been. Also gained some weight. Maybe Filipinos keep asking me for money because they don't value me much. Yeah, 10 years in the Philippines, I was in perfect shape. It was different. Yeah. I'm, you know, actually the girls I've dated, you know, Joe and Mary Rose, it's never been about money. And Joe never asked me for a red cent. Mary Rose too. They don't ask for money. So I don't necessarily have the experience of that type of dynamic, but I know guys who have, right? Yeah, Imes is awesome. Yeah, I really enjoy their food, even if it's a little more expensive. Dude, that place is so good. I love that place. I had the salad there. Absolutely delicious. Wait until you get to mainland Southeast Asia. The fruit is the best on earth. Absolutely incredible. The mangoes here are amazing. Yeah, eat a carnivore diet primarily. Yep, you'll be fine here in the Philippines. Chicken, yeah, so beef is hard to come by, but if you eat a carnivore diet, the Philippines is a high protein diet. A lot of chicken, a lot of pork, not as much beef, but you can still eat carnivore. And honestly, that's mostly what I eat, is beef and rice. But obviously you'd want to drop the rice. But yeah, not a problem, Lowell. Easy. Try Sean if you get a chance. The one on the main road by SM. Okay. Yeah, dude, we should grab a coffee. We should totally hang out. Sounds like you're in the area. Yeah, are the mangoes as good as Palisade peaches in color? Oh my gosh, aren't those so good, brother? Yeah, no, those are good. Yes, and they are. They are that good, dude. So the Palisade peaches that you're talking about, right? Very similar. So after I eat a mango, I feel like I need to take a shower. That's how good and juicy they are. Yeah. Yeah, the mangoes in Malaysia are best you ever had. Hey guys, all caught up in comments. I really appreciate it. I gotta run. I gotta meet some contractors at my new place. We're gonna be going through a site inspection for the air conditioners as well as a couple of other things. So really appreciate everyone watching, and Ampine, ayo, feed that good wolf. We'll see you guys. Thank you.